Let's just start with a question that really gets under your skin. What if the world you see, the world you feel and touch, isn't the real world at all? What if your eyes were designed by evolution specifically to lie to you?
Because it turns out, a powerful new idea, one that combines evolutionary game theory and cutting-edge physics, argues that our perception isn't a window to reality. It's an illusion. It's an elaborate deception, one so complete that it's forcing physicists to conclude that space-time itself is doomed. You see, for centuries, science has been running on one huge assumption, that our senses evolved to give us a progressively truer picture of the world out there. The fancy term for this is veridical perception. And, it seems like common sense, right? Your ancestor sees a lion where there actually is a lion, they survive. If they hallucinate one or miss it, they get eaten. So natural selection must favor seeing the truth. Well, that very intuition is what we're about to take apart. So imagine two evolutionary strategies going head-to-head. You've got the truth strategy on one side. Its only goal is to see the world exactly as it is. And on the other side, you've got the fitness strategy. It couldn't care less about what's true. Its only goal is survival, mapping what it sees directly to payoffs. Should I eat it, mate with it, or run away from it? Now, this isn't just some philosophical debate. This has been put to the test with cold, hard math and millions of evolutionary simulations. The result is something called the fitness beats truth theorem, and its conclusion is absolutely brutal. In the game of life, seeing the truth gets you killed. And this chart just lays it all out. Every single strategy that tries to see or even infer objective reality, no matter how clever, gets wiped out. Extinction. The only strategy that consistently wins is the one called a strict interface, the one that totally ignores reality and focuses only on what's useful for survival. So, what are the chances that a strategy based on what's useful just happens to line up with what's true? Well, as the world gets more complex, the mathematical probability of that happening drops and drops and drops until it's effectively zero. Okay, so seeing the truth doesn't help you survive. That's problem number one. But there's a second fatal flaw. It turns out seeing reality is just too expensive. Your body literally can't afford it. We have to remember, your brain isn't some abstract computer. It's a biological organ that devours about 20% of your body's entire energy budget. Every single thing you perceive has a real-world cost in calories. That energy bill is one of the main forces shaping how you see the world in the first place. And to really make that cost hit home, look at this number. To process just one single bit of truthful, high-fidelity information from the outside world can cost 10 million molecules of ATP. That's the fuel that powers your cells. Truth is a thermodynamic luxury that life simply cannot afford. Which, of course, leads to the big question. If this world of solid tables and green trees and blue skies isn't objective reality, then what on earth are we actually looking at? The answer is called the interface theory of perception. It says our senses aren't a window onto the world. They're a user interface, like the desktop on your computer, and its primary job is to hide the terrifying complexity of reality from you. Honestly, this desktop metaphor is the perfect way to get it. Think about a blue rectangular icon on your screen. Is the icon itself true? No, of course not. The real file is a dizzying mess of voltages and transistors and binary code. But the icon is useful. Showing you the truth would be completely overwhelming. The icon is useful precisely because it hides the truth. Our perceptions, an apple, a snake, a cliff edge, they're just icons. And this is where the implications just explode. Because this isn't just about biology anymore. This idea is crashing right into the frontiers of theoretical physics. I mean, you have some of the world's top physicists, people at the Institute for Advanced Study, flat out declaring that spacetime, the fundamental stage of our reality, is not real. They're saying it's doomed because it breaks down at the quantum level and can't explain really weird stuff, like how two particles can be linked across the entire universe instantly. What they're finding instead are these deeper, almost alien geometric objects, like something called the amplitudahedron, that exist outside of spacetime. And when they do calculations in this deeper reality, the laws of physics suddenly become much, much simpler. It strongly suggests that spacetime isn't the real thing. It's just a projection. So here's the takeaway. Spacetime is not the box that reality comes in. It's the graphical user interface of our human headset. It's a data compression tool that evolution gave us to manage survival information, not to show us the cosmos as it truly is. But here's the scary part. What happens when a user interface that was designed for one environment gets thrown into a totally new one it wasn't built for? You get catastrophic system failure. Take the cautionary tale of the Australian jewel beetle. Its mating icon is basically, find the shiniest, brownest, most dimpled thing you can. For millions of years, that was a female beetle. But then humans came along and left beer bottles in the desert, objects that are bigger, shinier, and browner than any female could ever be, a supernormal stimulus. The result? The males started mating with the bottles, ignoring the actual females, mating until they died of exhaustion, totally blind to the truth. And that little beetle's tragic story, it's a perfect mirror for us. Our user interface was sharpened on the African savanna. It gave us icons for lions and berries, but it has no built-in icons for the invisible threats of the modern world, things like ionizing radiation, or engineered viruses, or the slow, creeping danger of a planet's climate system failing. In the end, this entire world-bending idea comes down to one powerful statement. Natural selection is not a truth engine, it's a fiction generator. It only selects for the illusions that worked well enough to keep our ancestors alive yesterday. And so we are left as jewel beetles on a planetary scale, frantically swarming our own supernormal stimuli, our social media feeds, our processed foods, our political ideologies, completely blind to the real-world consequences our Stone Age interface was never, ever designed